The Wajir East Member of Parliament Rashid Kasim yesterday visited communities living in Sitawa, Rio and Wajerbor to monitor the situation due to drought ravaging the area. The MP tour was to sympathize with locals during this time of hardships, not only in the area, but the region as a whole.
I'm really truly grateful to be with the community of Sitawa, Rio, to share with them the plight and the difficulties they have during this difficult period of drought, and share with them whatever responsibilities that are bestowed on us, so that we can be able to ameliorate, we can be able to solve, we can be able to alleviate them from the difficulties they have during this drought period.
The MP promised to work closely with the national government, particularly the Devolution Ministry and the county government of Wajir, to address the problem. Mr. Kasim further promised the community living in Sitawa, Rio that he will drill a permanent borehole within 1 month to address perennial water problem. He said he will use his network to put the borehole in place to make sufficient water available for human consumption and their livestock.
We will certainly be able to work closely with the county government and national government to ensure that there is sufficient water and the borehole is drilled within the next 1 month. Within the next 1 month, I will assure this community, while trying to seek support from the county government or seeking support from the national government, so that we ensure that this community is having a borehole, a sustainable borehole, a borehole that is sufficient enough with adequate water to provide for human and livestock consumption in 1 month.
The Sitawa Rio community before in previous electoral cycle have never had a communication network, but today, courtesy of Mr. Rashid Kasim, the community is enjoying Safaricom network, which the people are using to communicate with their loved ones across the globe.
We have certainly been able to do certain progresses which have not been mentioned. Before my tenure of office as a member of parliament, this place was not captured by the network coverage. Today, they are proudly able to speak, and every mother here in front of me is having in a possession of a telephone, and even the young men are having smartphones, and they can be able to access information that is prudent to them and to their lives, and they are covered properly by network.
The MP is also connecting Sitawa, Rio, Wajerbor to Baghdad with electricity. The project is worth Kenyan shillings 100 million from Kenya Rural Electrification. RK is as commonly referred by his electorates, said the town will be connected with electricity, particularly during this period of COVID-19 economic recovery plan. The company putting poles, which has won the tender, is already in town, and the lens of the camera of ARF Media Group captured the work.
On the issue of light, you remember very well, there was no light in this place, the Kenya PLC, and there was no project which was there before to suffice them in terms of electricity supply. Today we have 100 million project which has been initiated by REREC, Rural Electrification Program, through the request of the area member of parliament, so that this area, Sitawa, Rio, Wajerbor, and a place called Baghdad is covered by electricity in the next 2 months. I will assure and I will ask every member of this community to ensure that they have accessible lights to their homes and for their domestic use.
The MP paid gratitude to President Uhuru Kenyatta and Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i for upgrading Korof Harad to a sub-county. The lawmaker said the locals will benefit from all government services unlike before, when they used to travel to headquarters in Wajir town.
In the last few months, I will be able to thank the government of the day, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the Ministry of CS Matiang'i, for having made Korof Harad sub-county a sub-county. Today, Korof Harad, which also is a part of Sitawa Rio, and Sitawa Rio being part of this, is a recruitment center. There's a DCC who is already in Korof Harad. These children who have no employment can be able to seek employment as a recruitment center, they can be able to get employment in Korofarar as well. These are some of the achievements we have done so far. In terms of the elaborate strengthening security, you may have seen it. This Sitawario is part of the greater Korofarar sub-county, which has been having an elaborate security measures. There is the KDF in Konton, there is the Special Forces in Karsa, there is another RDU in Wajerbor, which is hardly 13 kilometers from here. So you may have seen the government has done an elaborate effort to secure the lives and the property of these people, and particularly against aggression by Al-Shabaab. I will urge my members of the public that we will be able to provide the necessary representation required so that we can be able to highlight your issues and your plight to the national government and to the county government as well, because we have a responsibility as leadership to air your problems and your challenges. I will not relent until your basic desires, your basic needs are sufficed, particularly for this area.
Mr. Rashid Kasim Amin regretted that his area was not spared from the drought that is biting residents hard. The lawmaker said if there will be no rain in 2 months, tens of livestock and people will be affected. He appealed to the national governments and county government to put in place strategies, measures to mitigate the drought before the worst happens.
Finally, I will say, we are in a drought period. The circumstances, and if it continues this way and we don't get rain in the next 2 months, we are likely to erode, our livelihood is likely to be eroded. Children and mothers may not be able to access their basic requirements in terms of their water needs. So I'm requesting both the government of the day, the national government, through the National Drought Authority, through Ministry of Devolution, to make sure that there is sufficient support against drought mitigation measures to this community. I will also urge the county government as well to operationalize the drought mitigation measures which are already in place, so that these people can get sufficient food on their table, they get enough water on in their pockets. These are some of the issues that we'll be able to make sure that this community are serviced.